All right. So I'm going to try to get into this. Like when I talked to this HVAC guy yesterday, a little out of breath and exercising, he said he's an expert. He's been doing it, has his own business. And we were talking about this training to get certified. And he said, if you talk to the president of this training organization, something about tell him to kiss my ass and forgive the language. That's what he said. Because these were two experts that were fighting over foundational ways to teach HVAC. And I'm thinking about, well, let me show you this. This book here, Jonathan Leeman, Church Discipline. I don't like it all, but it definitely gets its stuff. And they don't say it nearly as clear as they should, because like here they're talking about, where is it? They don't give the background to what they're saying here. It makes me think they would want you to buy off on something before really getting into the fight of it. Like here's where I was reading. What they're saying here: when threatened by a possible act of discipline, therefore church members cannot simply preempt the church's action with resignation. These people. Now, this is good. That's what I'm staking everything on in church discipline. Not to trust the state, and this isn't their business. But these are fighting words. I think they say that. Watch, yep. Look here. The stakes are high indeed. You see that? The stakes are high indeed. They know they're causing a ruckus because I come to it every now and again. Here it is. The Ten Commandments say, don't take the name of the Lord your God in vain. That's a King James version, I think. But somebody once translated that to say, don't misuse God. And when I think all the churches that I've really kind of ever been involved with that don't do church discipline, they're fundamentally lying. So we have to own this deep down. Like, why do I say that I should be the king of the world? Because I'm the only voice that has the position, courage, to say these things so mean. Because they are mean, but they are true and they are good. Because, like that guy was saying in the HVAC, let's see if I can train my thoughts together. Connect my thoughts. He didn't want people to get trained wrong. And then this guy, he liked his training. I don't know all the story, but it was contentious. So there's a contentiousness here when I'm talking about the things that make people really mad. Because I'm always telling them they're hypocrites. And I'll call them, you goddamn hypocrite. And they know that, but then in the church world, you can't go cursing like that. So then they have their own private little attacks. Quiet attacks. That's what I say. I'm the cursing pastor because I want to expose the hypocrisy of this place. This place meaning the whole church. Not like everybody, I'm not claiming that, but a whole lot because I don't hear this teaching. And even this place here that has one church that's kind of following this book, they're still just trying to still make cookie and coffee time after having something this is a fight here. What we're saying is true. But why does it matter? Because if we are raising up disciples under these kind of churches, capital C across so many count as capital C, we're doing exactly what Matthew and Jesus said, raising up twice the sons of hell as we are. So now let me tell you a work story quick first about this. I worked for this firm once and got fired. And then I didn't deserve it because there wasn't basically enough work. And they took a tact, and I could give you details. But then I knew that things weren't very good, and I was like, hey, I would like to be able to find another job if you're going to fire me. And the guy said, no, it was a lie. He didn't really say no as I could replay it in my head, but I had signed an agreement to stay, and they exploited that. Okay? So I wanted to try to cooperate to expose the whole truth of a scenario and work a cooperative ending. That would have been fine. Then as it all went down, like a week or so later, Friday, I didn't know that was all done. Oh, they're following the textbook of how to F somebody over. Oh, call me in and hey, you're fired. What? And I know you don't think too much of me is what the guy said, because I just got done having a conversation with him like the week or so before saying this very thing. Like he just knew he lied straight out to me. raising up twice the sons of hell as you are. Now, that's not in the church, but this was a church man. But what I'm saying, when we as a country, as a church, all this stuff, don't tell the truth, asking the democracy of the U.S. to have church discipline, that's crazy. We got to start on the church ground. Not to mention everybody dies and there's heaven and hell at the end, and all the reasons why we do this in the first place, and also trust in a holy God that tells us how to do life. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. The truth and the life. When we're so fundamentally liars, it blows my mind. I mean, except I see it, and I saw it there. And then I talked to him later, and he had one time said, or maybe somehow it kind of clicked together. He was an older partner, CPA firm, and he said something about they keep him around because he's got particular skills. That's what he said. And I'm like, you're the guy that set this whole thing up from the beginning when I signed the agreement all the way to the end, where they're lying to you when you come in the door, they're lying. Because they know if things don't go right, they're going to F you on the end. And we can't tell you about the whole situation here, but we're going to F you over. We got to do it our way to trick you, to get you. When the Ten Commandments says, don't misuse God's name, that rings a bell as I now apply this to a local church, and you would know who it is. And I'm not going to say it just for the sake of like it applies to a bunch of churches, and I'm not here to specifically pick fights, I guess. But when I was reading this and I thought this, that, or the other, they did something to me where it's the same kind of deception. And then the people that go to that church, like one of their things is they want to be a light on the hill. Oh yeah, they're a light, all right. Because people are not dumb. People watch that and they're like, oh, I like this church because now I've seen how the corruption that I brought into this place, sinning that I brought in, lets me feel good that I'm in right standing with God because this is a church. So the people at my church, my soul feels good because I can just tell Jesus the people here are fine with it. I'm in a church. But I saw what you did there. So if I can do that under God's blessing, oh, now this is my home church. Somehow that gets all real bad and turns people into twice the sons of hell is exactly what Jesus is talking about. Dude, this is bad. And I cannot again be a good person and not continue to expose that I'll live in my homeless situation here. Because I can trust that when I get people behind me listen, the rock of Matthew 7:24 and 25, which is Jesus, people will want to ultimately be with the good guy. And even, I don't know how this is going to play out because I'm finally getting it ready. I'm finally to the point of advertising and ready to do the church. Good wins in the end. Luke Skywalker wins. Jesus wins. God wins. Truth wins. Karma? Call it, that's a language of sin outside of like a church setting, but wrong loses. And it's going to take pain to fix it. I'm convinced of that because everybody's life is so entrenched in the roots. Listen now, why is that passage so important? Because when you're living in a corrupted world, it's 99% effed up. The likelihood of you having to make your land go from sand to rock, that ain't going to just poof over. You're going to have to destroy the Asherah poles. And it's going to hurt. But it sure hurts a lot less than the things that are happening to you now. I had it happening to me. If I would have had a voice like this, I would have been listening. And the destruction that happened. It would have probably happened even then. You cannot cooperate. What's this? You cannot cooperate with sin. I'm going to be done, I think, after I say this. But I'm like, that's exactly the verse that I wanted to see here. Take Ephesians 5:11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Dude, I think about getting a tattoo. That could be a tattoo. I mean, I'm not really thinking of getting it, but I just want people to own that I take some of this, and these are the things that divide me and why I need to be blackered up with advertisements, and this is one. I ain't no cult. I'm opening the Bible that you guys all disregard. Ephesians 5:11, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness. That means if your mommy and daddy are in darkness, then you leave your mommy and daddy. If your church and your job and all these things that are in the needs. Do you want to be on Jesus' team and healthy? Watch. That's what I'm living. You're going to start to see it. Do you want to be on Jesus' team, or do you want to be with the darkness people that are effing you over and you don't even know it? You wait till you get burnt. But then heaven forbid me to be the quiet guy, because guess what they want me to do? Be quiet. PFAs and all this stuff, bring the police over and talk to me. Just make sure, that's what happened at the church. Just make sure he ain't coming. Not to mention a strategy behind it if I did show up. You know what, you crazy people? It's not even crazy, it's wrong. That's why they say, we know to the honor what this thing is saying. You're signing up. That's why this can't be just, there's things here that these people don't even understand. They do, they just don't. I'm doing it right. I will die before I do it wrong. I might have to learn along the way, but we can be guided and trust that Jesus and his way is talking about, and we're going to trust that. We might not have the answer today, but we're going to figure it out. Because we need a hearing. Did I get a hearing? Did I get the right? That's what I was even saying at the time. Did I get a right to an excommunication? Nope. We just want to F you over. That is so wrong.